watching GRTV, my favorite. Wahoo!
You guys got a lot of people hyped right now.
Yes, we do.
With the manifesto video. What do you think about the reception so far?
It's been fantastic. Here at Gamescom, the booth has been swamped. We have 50 stations showing the game right now, plus one's over showing it in 3D over at another booth, and it's just been packed continually. The people are really excited about it. We've spent the past year talking about in our design blogs, in our manifestos, what we intend to do with the game, and now people are seeing it and getting a hands-on experience with it for the first time. And they really like it.
How's this last year been for you guys? We actually met you last year. You were here and reveal the game, and now you've been working hard and giving more information. How's it been?
When we came here last year, we talked a lot about our lore. We talked a lot about our background story. We talked a lot about our beautiful art. Now we've started talking about the mechanics and started about how we were going to put the world together. The past year has been all about delivering and putting things on the table. It's about been developing those mechanics, showing them in play, showing how they interact.
One thing that you or the manifesto video mentions, and what you've mentioned in design blogs and so on, is the overthrowing the old of the MMO genre or redefining it. Yeah, exactly. How do you plan to do that?
We actually are, it's not as much as we have a revolution, we're questioning everything. We're basically going back and seeing what worked in MMOs, what didn't work. Our ultimate goal is not necessarily to produce an MMO as opposed to just create a very good computer game. And so we've looked across the spectrum of all games and see what mechanics have worked, what mechanics we can adapt, what we can innovate, what can we bring to the table that makes Guild Wars a better game as opposed to just a better MMO.
Because one thing I was wondering about that is you talked a lot about the dynamic system, and you showed it during the presentation here today, which I suppose more or less those videos will be released to. By this time, probably everybody's seen them. You've talked a lot about them, but what it seems to me after seeing the presentation, and again, don't take this any wrong way, but it seems like more like they're the Warhammer Online public quests, but 2.0, if you understand what I mean. Bigger, better.
We're looking to innovate, and we're looking actually to bring it into a larger world. The idea of the event system, a dynamic event system, is to help create the idea of a living world that isn't always the same when you walk out the door, where actions do have consequences within the larger world. The Centaurs attack the garrison. Normally they can never take the garrison because that would mess things up. In our system, they can take the garrison, and that kicks off a new event where you're going to have to try to take back the garrison. They take back the garrison. Okay, now you're going to have to, rescue someone or fix the garrison, or some other event chain kicks off. So as opposed to where you have like a series of big events, this is happening all the time across the whole spectrum of the game. So every time you step out the door, it's always something new.
Because also, what Warhammer Online had problems with getting people together to actually do these public quests. How do you entice players, or how do you... Things falling apart here? Okay, let's take the question again. Because one of the problems that I was thinking about when watching it is that Warhammer Online had a lot of problems getting people to get together and actually do these things, especially during the level process. Or the leveling process. How do you plan to entice players to either get together and do it alone?
Well, basically the event is occurring in the world as you're going, so it's an option whether you're going to participate or not. But we also scale our events, so that with the exception of certain large group events like fighting a dragon champion, if you're the only person doing an event, it's scaled for you. More people join in, we have more monsters, the monsters are of greater power, the monsters have new abilities. So the idea is you can play it at any level with any number of players. One thing we have within the way our game is designed is we encourage players to work together, not necessarily grouping up, but just the idea that when you see another player, that's an opportunity for greater adventure, as opposed to, I wonder if he's going to, kill steal me, because we're in a lot of MMOs, you're competing for the same resources, even though you're supposedly on the same side. For what we're doing, it's the idea that the more people come in, the more resources are available for everyone.
One of the things that made Guild Wars popular, and one of the things that still makes Guild Wars 1 popular, is of course the difference in like leveling systems with only 20 levels and so on. And in Guild Wars, you've confirmed that it's level 80 is the level cap.
Level 80 cap right now.
How did that different? When did you decide? Okay, we're going to do this so very differently from the first game.
Well, we went up with Guild Wars when we went to 20 levels, but we kept having additional abilities that went on beyond it, additional traits that we basically included. What we're doing with our level 80 cap is we're looking at a different way of how we progress levels. For a lot of MMOs, and this comes out of the old paper RPGs they are a part of, they had an exponential curve, where going from level 79 to 80 was a huge amount of work, and that contributes to the frustration a lot of people experience with MMOs. We're looking at a much gentler, more level curve, so that the amount of activity that takes you from level 39 to 40 should be about the same as the level of activity that takes you between 79 and 80. It's just cooler activity.
And also, what's it like for you as well? You're very involved in the lore. What's it like building a bigger persistent world for players to run around in compared to the instances in Guild Wars 1?
We find that Eteria is a place for a lot of stories. We have the big story with the dragons itself. We have the important story, which is the story of you. We have an epic story that involves the iconics. We have characters interacting, NPCs all over the place, and it ranges from just the smallest ambient conversation in Divinity's Reach up to the full epics and power plays and political battles between the Queen and her ministers. So we've got a very wide. Very big stage that we can all work on. One thing we're doing right now as well is we're doing novels, and our novels have given us another opportunity to tell stories that we might not tell in the game itself.
Yeah, because Ghosts of Avalon or Ascalon, sorry, that was the first Guild Wars novel.
Ghosts of Ascalon is the first of 3 independent novels. They are not part of a trilogy. They're individual stories that just released in the United States and just shipped yesterday in Germany. The German translation is out. We are telling 3 different stories. The second one will be out by the end of the year, and that is Edge of Destiny, with a different set of characters. We're talking about the iconics. We're talking about the heroes you saw in the video. Ghost of Ascalon tells a lot of the story of what happened between the humans and the Char in the past 250 years, and they fill a lot of the gaps of what's happened between Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2.
And just to wrap things up, we have people staring at us in the background here. How much breath is there left in Guild Wars 1?
There is a lot of breadth in Guild Wars 1. We have a live team. We are still doing events. We just wrapped up the Crichton Civil War. We are looking at stuff for the future. And again, that's material that now is flowing into, because that's our past from Guild Wars 2. We're looking at what is there that helps make the world what it is today.
And you plan to support it well beyond Guild Wars 2?
There is continued plans to have support for Guild Wars 1, yes.
All right. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.